Claudia and I go way back, as I do with Johnny. She's a writer, a storyteller, a coach, and founder of Storycraft Sessions. Her funny and reflective stories explore potential, identity, creativity, and alternative living. She performed at Soul Stories Live, which was a show she produced. That's how we met. How long did you produce it? 3 years. It was an amazing experience, and she took a leap with me at Fairly New Teller. That was a lovely experience. She's also told at Chimera Loft, Story Lab, This Much Is True, Filet of Solo, Fresh Meat, and the Evanston Storytelling Festival. She also, you still make the dolls? She makes great dolls. They're these abstract, but each one has a story and an emotion behind it. So if you're interested, get in touch with her. She'll tell you how to find them. I bought 2 or 3 of them. They're wonderful. Anyway, so now she's going to be a storyteller out of all those hyphen that she is. So please bring a warm welcome up for Victoria Reeves. Got it? Oh, you know how that works.
I do. Hi.
Oh, she has a good voice, Tony.
Are you smoking this marijuana shit? My dad yells, holding up this dime bag of pot that he found in my sister's drawer. Now, actually, vodka and orange juice is my drug of choice because my sister and I have been stealing it from my friend John's mom's liquor cabinet like since we were 10. But my father is 6'1" and he's so close to my face that his spit is landing on my nose. So I'm not gonna split hairs. And I say, well, yeah, I mean, sometimes I smoke pot. What in the world? My father is yelling in my face, and he says, the 2 of you are up here blasting your music all the time, ignoring your mom when she's calling you, your grades are going down, and now you're smoking pot too? GD Christ, that's the last straw. You're grounded for a month. Oh my God. So we go downstairs, and my dad's like, go downstairs and do your homework. We're not gonna argue with my dad. He's been known to throw things. And, again, he's huge. So we go downstairs, and we're sitting at the dining room table, and my mom rolls up on her Amigo wheelchair, and she's like, hi, guys. I know this is upsetting, but let's have some space sticks and some orange juice, and it's gonna be okay. We hate our parents. We hate each other. It's the only thing that my sister and I have in common. I am a tweed jacket wearing existentialist who plays the violin, and my sister is a baton twirling prom queen who wants to be a business mogul. So at Homewood Flossmoor High School, we completely ignore each other all the time. I hear this door slam, and my dad goes out. And he comes back like 20 minutes later, and he's got this bag from Ace Hardware. And he goes, Sherry, come over here. My mom rolls over in the wheelchair. And they go to the bottom of this stairwell that goes to the 2nd floor of our house. And they're doing some kind of project. We're doing our homework. Now, my mom has multiple sclerosis, which is why she's in a wheelchair, okay? So during the day, she has the run of the 1st floor of our house. Living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, right? And then at night, my father, she's tiny, and my dad, carries her up the stairs to go to bed. So my sister and I know this, that she can't go up the stairs. So when we come home after school, we go upstairs and we blast music and we do all this stuff. We're jerks, okay? We're total jerks. And whenever my mom calls us, we're like, oh, well, we're sorry because we just can't hear you. So I look through the arch of the dining room, entrance, and I'm checking out my parents, and my mom is like in her chair, and my dad's having her like reach up with her hand, and then he takes out this Phillips head screwdriver, and he starts to screw this button at the bottom of the stairs. Now, my dad is a welding and brazing engineer, so he's a super technical guy. And then he gets this wire, like from the button, and he's running it up the railing and like coiling it around, and then he gets this staple gun, and then he's like stapling it to the wall and to the ceiling of the 2nd floor. And then my dad goes into my bedroom, and this cannot be good. And then the next thing I hear is like, Vicky, Cindy, get upstairs. So we do, and we get up there, and my father has installed an indoor doorbell inside my bedroom. So he goes, Vicky, because they call me Vicky then. Vicky, play your music as loud as you can. So I put Jesus Christ Superstar on my stereo, and I turned it up to like level 10. And then he goes, Cindy, play your music. And my sister puts Aerosmith on her stereo. She turns it up to level 10. He goes, okay, Sherry, have at it. And my mom presses the buzzer, and it's like, ah! It's so loud. I mean, it's like louder than both of our stereos combined. And my dad gets this like sinister smile on his face, and he's like, I know you can hear that. So every time you hear that buzzer, you go see what your mother wants. And tomorrow, come right home after school because we're going on a field trip. Well, the next day at school is painful, and we're terrified to see what my dad's gonna do next. We come home, we get in the Chevy Impala, me, my sister, my dad, and he drives us over to Chicago Heights, where we pull up in front of this like kind of rickety looking old house, and it says like St. James halfway house on the front. Now this is 1978, and my parents have been watching the Scared Straight series on PBS. So since finding pot in my sister's bedroom, my dad decides that a face-to-face with a heroin addict is like the only thing that's gonna save me and my sister. So we walk into this place, and we're sitting on these folding chairs on like, terrible shag carpet, and we meet this guy named Jerry. Now, Jerry's a heroin addict, and he's got, tracks up and down both his arms, and my dad like nods conspiratorially to Jerry, to start. Jerry proceeds to tell us about the wonders of heroin usage. And it's having the opposite effect. Because at this point, we've only drank alcohol, smoked pot, maybe LSD a couple times, and we're like, wow, this is like a whole new world. But we're terrified of my dad. So we just sit there like all stoic, like, okay, Jerry, okay, that's really scary. And then we get back in the car, we're headed home, and then my dad says, and now begins phase 2. Phase 2? And Dad, yeah, I know. And then Dad's like, yeah, as soon as we get home, I'm taking every single thing you own out of your bedrooms except for your bed and a change of clothes. And I'm putting everything else in the attic, and I'm locking the door. He's insane. And he's like, and then when you come home from school, your mom's gonna smell your finger, your mom's gonna smell your fingers, your mom's gonna smell your mouth, and if you don't smell like pot and you do your homework and you follow directions, then each day that you do that, you get one item back from the attic. And we're like, seriously, like posters and like art supplies and like our guitars and our yes, everything. Thus begins the hardest 3 weeks of my life. So, we can't get high, or at least if we do, we have to figure out a better way to mask it. We can't do anything because we're grounded. We have to respond to every single buzz of my mom's buzz, and a lot of these are just silly things like, hey, let's watch Oprah, And, but there's no going back from this. So anyway, after 2 weeks, I'm about to lose my mind, and so I decide that I'm gonna go on strike. And I go in the kitchen and I get peanut butter and jelly, apples, bananas, a huge thing of water, and a Folgers can that's empty and has a lid, because I need something to pee in my room. I go in my room and I tell everyone, I'm on strike for 3 days. I'm not coming out. I'm not responding to any calls. Of course, when I have to do number 2, I run across the hall really quickly when no one notices. But this is I'm taking a stand, right? And I'm I'm not answering these buzzers, and I'm just not gonna do this anymore. I have a fantastic time. I play Jesus Christ Superstar. I'm like, Jesus Christ Superstar. I choreograph these dances. I write stories. I dream of a different life where I can be free and do whatever I want. And then finally, after the 3 days are over, I go downstairs, and my parents are sitting at the dining room table, and they say, for sophomore year, we're sending you to boarding school. And I'm like, well, what about mom? Who's gonna take care of mom? And my dad's like, well, we're gonna hire a personal care attendant to take care of your mother, which they should have done a long time ago. And all I can think is 3 things. A, I can't wait to get away from the 3 of them. And B, at boarding school, there'll be no buzzer in my room. And C, there'll be a whole new set of rules that I can't wait to break. Thank you.
Victoria Reed. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for reconnecting. That's lovely. All right. So before we go with our next